Okay, hopefully this will work today because it wasn't the last time I tried this, and I do not know why. I have no idea. It was one of those weird things. I have different things that I do for as far as shows, so I have different setups in my OBS, or in this case, Streamlabs OBS, and for some reason the audio wasn't coming across, at least as far as the guest that I had on, which was Brandon. So I'm going to do this solo today. However, I did include Brandon's link to his video reaction to Ethan's video. It is in the video description, so go watch it firsthand. Maybe you can hear Brandon on it. I couldn't. Excuse me. So I apologize for that. I can't even hear him on this video. I'm going to be using his video to do this, and I could not hear him, and so I invited him on to come kind of give his review in real time with me. And we had some technical difficulties, but I'm going to try it again here on my own because I think this is something that kind of should be discussed. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. I'm not going on video today. Sorry, I'm not that pretty. Been a little under the weather, give or take. You know, people know I've had a little bit of minor medical stuff, but nothing bad, nothing to worry about. I'm not dying, people. Sorry, trolls. Be with you a little bit longer here. But this is the cesspool where I kind of look I take a critical look at kind of problematic people and YouTubers. And today I kind of want to talk about Ethan, who has been around the, I guess the atheist community. I don't know what the hell community is, and I have no idea. But he is a huge stan of Kyle Curtis, the guy that stole my channel, the Non Sequitur Show channel, one of the 9 worst YouTubers for 2021, according to That Creepy Reading, who I think is absolutely right. And basically, he's a huge stan of Kyle. So I guess from what I understand, Kyle went to a Discord or something and supposedly gave him a message to give to the quote his community, because he sure the hell ain't in mine. And by the way, yeah, if you could mention that you can hear me, that'd be really great, because nothing's worse than spending a minute or two of dead air and nobody can hear you. It's embarrassing. But I don't know if this is a statement from Kyle or not. I don't care, really. It makes no difference either way. I'm going to just assume it is because, whatever. It really makes no difference. So, sure, let's assume this is an actual statement by Kyle. Okay, great. But I will be talking about how Ethan has made many false statements when it comes to me. His weird obsession of supporting Kyle, a 2-time felon, a person who was found liable for fraud, fraudulent conversion, unfair and deceptive trade practices, breach of fiduciary duty, breach of contract, and ostensibly stole $60,000 from Non Sequitur fans. That's his role model, apparently. Yeah, I don't get it either. Makes no sense to me. But he has said things that is absolutely categorically untrue, which I'll discuss here. So we're going to be just kind of looking at his video. I'm going to try to play it at 1.5 speed because, well, I try to get through videos quickly. It's a 40-minute video, and I don't want to do the whole thing. I'm going to play like 13 minutes of it, basically to kind of give you an idea of why Ethan is just a problematic person. I mean, this is the guy you got to remember that had told people to call the FBI on Cheshire and I. And then when I finally got a chance to confront him on it, and I asked him, what the hell did you call the FBI? Or he said he called FBI Medi-Cal. I'm sorry, I got a little cough. I'll try to mute. Look, I don't remember. I thought he said he called medical or Medicaid or Medi-Cal. I don't remember. Cheshire, he said that he called the FBI. I know he wanted people to call the FBI, but he admitted to one of them. And honestly, I just can't remember which one he admitted to. So let me be clear on that. He admitted to either the FBI or the medical. I don't remember. Irrelevant, though. The point is he called one of them, supposedly, right? And I'd asked him, what the hell evidence what the hell did you call them? What the hell did you possibly tell them? There's nothing to tell. And he said before, he's only gone on like Kyle's word that there was these things going on. Well, so what? You called an agency and said, hey, look, this dishonest felon that steals money and screws over fans and, has been found liable for fraud. His word, Steve's done some malfeasance. Can you go check him out? Is that really what you want to tell an agency there, Ethan? Because if this is your standard of morality, then you really need to rethink your principles here, because you have none. You never have had any. I know that you just like to troll. I understand that. You hang out with a lot of trolls. But as you have said, you're hurting people, and I don't understand why you want to do that. But this is a video just to kind of point out these problematic behaviors and some of the things you've said that are just categorically false. So let me put this video on the screen. And by the way, hi, everyone out there. I don't know, it sounds like my voice is a little deeper today than usual. I know I'm a little hoarse. I did have a medical appointment the other day, and hopefully get a couple of things resolved. But yeah, it sounds a little different today to me. But that's okay. All right, so let's see. Is that one? No, it's this one. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So this is apparently the statement that Kyle has made. I do think that Ethan, if I remember correctly, had transcribed this. I don't think this was something that Kyle sent out because he couldn't even get my name right. So I do think this is probably something that was stated by Kyle, and Ethan kind of transposed it, whether that be accurately or not. Who the hell knows? Clearly, Ethan is not inerrant. We already know that for a fact. So it says, quote, I have not been on YouTube recently because it's a past thing. If it's a past thing, then why are you still in a lawsuit in regards to YouTube channel? It's clearly not a past thing. I mean, he still goes on YouTube, every so often to spew this nonsense, and it's all about his ego. In fact, I've always said, Kyle has to come on every so often to feed his narcissistic ego. It's called narcissistic supply. He has to have it. He loves to be enamored, and he loves to be treated like he's some kind of was a minor celebrity of some sorts. He loves that attention. I've never been happy as I am right now. Or excuse me, I've never been happy as I am now. Well, he said the same thing, I think, when Ben, if I'm not mistaken. So, McRae, spelled incorrectly, it's MC capital R-A-E, is a nuisance that pops up when there's a warrant out for my arrest. It pops up. I've been on YouTube for 7 years. I have over 2,000 videos. That's not exactly popping up. I've been discussing the non sequitur show case for now 2 years, involved with the non sequitur show since 2017, so that's 4 years. And I associate with a lot of channels that do stories on it, like Jessica's channel, who has done a read of every single thing that has been entered in the record. If you want to know the non sequitur show case, there's no other place to go, obviously, other than primarily to the North Carolina Business Court. But if you want an excellent resource to go to and learn about the case, go check out Cheshire's channel, because she's read every single document. So, my life is happy. Oh, it's self-affirmation time. Okay. I don't need subscriber numbers for validations like some do. Dude, I've been sitting at like 17,000 subs for how long? It is what it is. I remember when I made like my first 1,000. I was proud. It's not validation. It's work. It took me work to get to 1,000. And I do the same for other people. When they hit 1,000, I'm like, dude, good job. When they hit 10,000, good job. You're talking about people that mainly have like 100,000 subs plus, that some of them do, I think, look at those numbers for validation because they have ego issues, they have personality issues, they have narcissistic tendencies. But I don't know when I've ever really considered subscribers to be of significant consequence to me. Yes, I do want subscribers like any YouTuber, but mostly it's only because I think I have something to put out. And if I do, I want people to listen to it and evaluate it. They don't have to agree, but just evaluate it, just like any other person. Isn't that kind of normal? Why would you be putting out your opinion on YouTube if you didn't want people to listen to it? So that just is a ridiculous statement, but okay. I'm dating the man of my dreams and he fully supports me. Well, again, I think he said the same thing about Ben Potts, so we found that to be a lie. Matter of fact, if you guys remember, he had forged Ben Potts' signature, supposedly, on it, because it hasn't been proven in court, or the court knows it is a forgery. We have testimony by Ben it's a forgery that has been entered in a record. And, try to pretend that he was living with Ben, who, quote, fully supported him, unquote. Not a direct quote there, but you get my point. So yeah, this is all a matter of self-affirmation. This is, the pulling on the ear. This is the stroking of the hair thing. This is the, little tics that people have when they have to be self-assured themselves, have to play with their fingers or something and touch themselves and go, I'm not lying, I'm doing great. You see that quite often with other YouTubers, especially ones that have associated with Kyle for some reason. Quote, I hope that everyone who is listening to this is happy. Yeah, like he gives a damn about anybody but himself. I mean, how do you screw over thousands of people? And I'm not even being hyperbolic. Thousands of people, like 8,000 people left the Non Sequitur show, which is not, a huge amount compared to some other content creators. I mean, what happened to Creepshow Art? She lost, she was like almost 500,000 and she lost a third or something, 150, 200,000 subs or whatever the hell it was. That's significant, I mean, 8,000 is pretty significant too for a channel that only had 33 subs. That's a pretty good percentage. I'm not going to do the math in my head because I don't care, but you can figure it out. But that's a pretty big number. And so why does he care who's listening to this and they're happy? He doesn't care about that, right? By the way, I am watching the live chat, but the only really thing I can really see that stands out if you message me directly, the Great Debate community, so I will read those. Going to Unicorn says, I have a funny feeling that Kyle's boyfriend does not know everything about Kyle. Well, yeah, surprise, surprise, right? I mean, Ben didn't know either, right? I mean, that's kind of a standard thing, it seems. So, here. Okay. If you're constantly chasing subscribers and numbers, you'll end up as miserable as that son of a bitch, Steve McRae, and nobody wants to be like him. I'm not chasing numbers of subscribers. I've been literally flat for how long? It's only until recently I started getting some more subscribers because I had started putting out some of the truths that had happened in the TRO that Katie Joy had filed against me. And once those truths came out, some subscribers wanted to come check it out. But other than that, I've been flat for a very long time. Yeah, no maths on Saturday. By the way, tag a Great Debate community only because it shows up in orange for me, Rose. It makes it easier. But yeah, that's see again. He's even though he has a warrant out for his arrest, even though he's looking at perjury, forgery, embezzlement, submission of altered evidence, and he definitely, for a fact, is looking at criminal and contempt charges because they're already in the record. He already has an arrest warrant out for criminal and civil contempt. It's still important to him to try to degrade, demean, defame, libel, slander, whatever it is, me, right? I mean, that's just his shtick. Steve, bad man. Steve, bad man. Therefore, I had to remove him from Non Sequitur Show and steal all the money because, he's the ethical one. I am not sure how that works. I love you all. Yeah, well, that's probably the biggest lie in that entire thing. And again, I'm assuming that this is correct. I have no reason to doubt it isn't. It makes no difference either way. It's irrelevant. It has nothing of any value in it whatsoever. There's nothing legally here one way or another. It's just who cares. But the fact that he pops up just to do this rather than just take care of the fact he has a warrant out and go turn himself in, because I gotta tell you, I've always given Kyle good advice. I mean, contrary to what you guys may think, if you guys think that I ever give him bad advice, let me know, and I'll say, yeah, you know what, I probably did. Yeah, go ahead. But I mean, I really do try to give people advice, good advice. And the reason being is after they don't take it, I get to say, see, I told you so. And it makes it a little bit more sweet because I do play the long game. I really, really play the long game. And I think in the long term, it does come out in your benefit overall. But it sucks in the middle. It's a hell. I mean, you go through a lot of shit when people are lying about you and being dishonest about you. And you have people like Ethan who is supporting people like that and lying about you as well. I mean, clearly when you have no integrity, no honor, no ethics, you could say whatever you want with impunity because you don't care. Even if people find out you're lying, you don't care because you have no ethics. You have no character to even consider whether you want to keep it intact or not. Let Limo says the man of his dreams, quote, fully supports him emotionally with a pension. Who knows? Yeah, LOL. Yeah, I don't know. And again, anybody out there, if he's dating somebody, they can go find this stuff. I have no idea. Well, actually, I know the guy's name. I just don't have any idea if they're actually dating, right? I mean, I suppose we know, who he's seeing. I don't know who this guy is. Never talked to him, never seen him. No clue. I don't even know what the hell he does. But I don't know if that's, somebody he's actually seeing or not. And I don't care. It's absolutely irrelevant to anything. He can be married with 5 kids by now. Whatever. It makes no difference. But the facts are the facts, and I go by facts, and the facts are he has an arrest warrant. Why? Because he has criminal and civil pending actions, and he's just ignored them, and it will get worse. Right now, it's a $10,000 bond, which is $1,000 secured cash, and is it a secured bond or is it cash only? I don't know, but whatever it is, he still has to come up with $1,000, and then he can bail out if he wants to. But now I don't understand how that works. I got to tell you straight. I don't know why the judge would issue an arrest warrant to have somebody be able to bail out just to run again. But then again, I'm not a lawyer, but I can understand if they turn themselves in and then they bail out saying, yes, I will show up. I'm giving you $1,000 surety. Don't come, arrest my ass. Okay, I get that. But if you get arrested and then you bail out and then you just ditch again, now not only have you gone on the lam again, but now you're on the hook for an additional $9,000 to the bail bondsman, right? If there's a $10,000 bond, you pay $1,000. You know, they put up the other $9,000. So I don't know how that works. Maybe you guys can explain it to me one day. It makes no sense to me. So, but let's assume that this is true. Let's kind of watch this video for a few and see what Ethan has to say. You know, because again, this is the guy that supports Kyle, and even said he would stream with him again. Even said he would stream with him. Oh, okay. This guy steals all this money, screws everybody over, lies to the court. He is has such moral turpitude and integrity and all this other stuff. But you know, I'm gonna stream with him. Okay, whatever.
I hope that everyone is listening to this is happy. If you're constantly chasing subscribers and numbers, you'll end up as miserable.
I know it might be low, but can you hear it?
Wants to be like him.
Let me turn that up.
I love you all, Kyle Curtis.
There we go.
You know, that is the full statement. And he didn't make it to just me. He made it to a whole room full of people, a whole Discord room full of people.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that. Like I said, I mean, I go by reason. Not always can you have empirical things. Not always can you have a deductive argument. You just have to use a little bit of induction, right? And we do know Kyle dumps on the. Oh, I'll turn on the closed captioning. Absolutely, feeling. We do know that Kyle jumps into Discord when he needs to feed his ego. He always has. So that's kind of consistent with history. That kind of makes sense from what we understand. So yeah, I don't think he's actually lying about that for a change, right? I mean, we know he's dishonest. At least, you know, I know he's dishonest. You don't have to believe it. I don't care. But I know for a fact he's dishonest. But hey, and I can show, and I'll be able to show it obviously here too coming up. But yeah, I don't think he's lying about this. I think this has actually happened.
It was not, you know, me alone.
And by the way, other people disagreed with me on that. And you know what? They're not blocked. They're still my friends. You know, so I mean, people have been running this narrative. Oh, you disagree with Steve? He's going to block you. Yeah, that never happens.
Me alone, him and I talking one-on-one. We have not had any kind of one-on-one conversation in about a year now. I think it was last August, I want to say, maybe September, whenever.
Yeah, so you know what? I just realized that it does pick up Brandon's CCs. I didn't know that before. So it might be hard to see who's talking about what, but this actually works better for me because I wanted to hear what Brandon had to say, so I didn't even realize it actually picked up enough to do closed captioning. So, yeah. Puff Wiggly, I don't know what's going on in you in the main channel. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, look, if you DM me directly, like I said, let me. If you I don't know what else to do. I mean, even if I know who you are, because I don't know how to fix that. It just makes no sense. So.
That's what you didn't know.
The last episode of Discuss was, and I think that was August. We spoke maybe a week later when I said, you know, I'm leaving for my mental health. I'm taking a break. So the other thing that I told him publicly in front of everyone, I said, you know, as your...
Okay, so he's leaving for his mental health. And by the way, Lucy and the Set of Diamonds is not a troll. I'm going to unhide them. I know who they are, but I can't do anything. I've got noise suppression on. This is the best is going to get. Suffer through it or don't watch. But yeah, they're not a troll. So... yeah, well, no, I mean, he says he left for mental health. Well, you know, I don't think that you've got your problem fixed. I think you probably may need to go back and get additional therapy. You are not right, Ethan, in your head. Something is broken in your mind. What you support, someone like Kyle Curtis, who has been completely dishonest from day one, has lied to everybody, had lied about having a lawyer, lied about having a CPA, lied about paying me the money. It's been over 2 years now. Everything that I've said in the NSS case is in the court record and has been validated and verified. I mean, I have evidence for it. There's nothing that I've said that I cannot prove to you. And yet you still side with somebody you know is a known fraudster. That to me is somebody who just does not have their mental faculties intact.
Your friend, I encourage you to turn yourself in. You have warrants out for your arrest. You need to go answer that. And everybody's... asking me, do I think he's going to do that? Do I think he's going to turn himself in? I do.
See, okay. I'm kind of curious. Why does he think Kyle's going to turn himself in? I mean, Kyle has lied about everything he has said. Everything he has said. his credibility is zilch, zero, nada, nothing, zero. But he still believes him. Doesn't mean that he won't turn himself in, but I mean, you have no basis or no standing to think that. As a matter of fact, we're getting closer to the court date, and it's not a court hearing; it's a status conference. They changed it into, which is better for us. We don't need a hearing. We want the status conference, right? So, he's getting close to that, and he hasn't turned himself in yet, there, Ethan. So I don't know. Like I said, he might. Look, be the smartest move he ever made, right? Get a defense attorney, turn yourself in, straight up. Do it. I mean, I'll give good advice. If you're going to turn yourself in, get a defense lawyer before you do it. I don't think anybody would say that's a bad idea. Matter of fact, if you go, anybody go read this stuff, they say if you turn yourself in, get a defense lawyer when you do it, right? So you don't incriminate yourself. You don't make matters worse. But I don't see him turn himself in. Why would he? But I mean, again, I'm happy to be wrong on that. I have no way to know either way. I just know that his whatever he says is not a reason to base anything on, right? You can't base yourself or your views on the word of somebody who has lied to the court repeatedly. That is looking at fraud. Looking at forgery and perjury. He's perjured himself in depositions, in affidavits.
I don't know when. I hope it's really soon.
Lemimo says, I found it interesting that he's doing the same content he did before, basically on gaming channel. Like what? I have no idea. I don't watch a shit. Matter of fact, this is why I'm actually watching Brandon's video, because I don't want to watch his stuff. And like I said, do Brandon a solid. I think he's at like 70 subs or something, I'm not mistaken. Go get him to 100 at least. It would really mean a lot to Brandon. He's a great guy. Very smart. I know a lot of people have been, will talk crap about him and stuff like that. But he is one of the nicest, most honest, most genuine, very intelligent guys I've ever met in my life. And he's, he has something to say, and he's building up his channel. So I think we all kind of do. Do you think Ethan cares that Kyle cares that Ethan is building up his channel just because he wants to have his voice out there? No, he'd be like, oh, look at Brandon, he's chasing subs. Come on.
Because as much as I enjoyed creating with Kyle and would love to create with Kyle again, I would love to create with Kyle again. Good for you. That shows your integrity right there, man. Answered a judge when a judge told him to appear, and he can't do that, right? It doesn't matter who you are. If judge tells you got to be in court, you got to be in court. And Kyle needs to go and see about these warrants and deal with this case.
Yeah. Well, he knew to deal with it from day one, and he never did. You expect him to change that now, and it will get worse for him. If he would have turned himself in, let me be straight with you here, Ethan. Again, go ask an attorney. Go ask anybody that has any kind of legal sense that's not a complete troll, like your boy Nathan there, that completely lies to me all the time, right? I mean, he has never said a true thing about me that I can possibly remember. Ever since the GDC days, right? So go find a lawyer that's actually has some integrity, right? And go ask them, hey, should this guy have turned up, at the very beginning of this case? And should he have at the day one tried to not lie to the court system, right? Golden Unicorn says, I am just curious why Ethan would assist Kyle. How is him making Kyle's Discord statement public when he's clearly not worried about the arrest warrants going to persuade Kyle to turn himself in? I have no idea. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Kyle's not going to turn himself in, nothing that Ethan says is going to change that mind, right? I mean, nothing. So I don't get it. I don't know why he thinks that he cares what Ethan has to say.
He does. And I want to see him do that. I have no idea if he's going to. I don't know. The other question people ask me is, do I think he's going to come back to YouTube? I don't know. I hope so. I told him if he comes back, I would love to do another show with him.
Yeah. So wait a minute. This guy did a show with me, steals $60,000 from the fans, lies multiple times in court, depositions and affidavits, and you want to do a show with him. There you go, man. That's Ethan for you right there. That's the level of his understanding of integrity. Screw 8,000 people over. I would say all the fans. So this is anybody who subscribed. So, screw everybody that subscribed to the Non Sequitur Show channel, which was 30,000 subs. I'm still going to do a show with this guy because, he's just got great hair.
I'd love to do something else with him.
Yeah, yes. Most like. I'm back.
Yeah, and look, and like I said, Brandon's a hell of a nice guy. I disagree with Brandon on this. Why would you wish somebody the best that's a piece of crap like that? I don't understand that. But, Brandon is Brandon. So why would you wish somebody the best? I don't have that kind of ethical framework. I do love ethics, don't get me wrong. But I have the opinion that, look, Jesus forgives. I have no requirement to do so. And I'm not going to wish somebody the best that is a complete immoral, dishonest, disingenuous, nonsensical, lying, manipulative, narcissistic, egotistical, self-centered prick for the most part. I mean, and I'm trying to be kind here. That's my way of being kind. So yeah, I don't wish anybody the best, but that have screwed people over, especially people I cared about, and me obviously. But Brandon's my boy, and I love him dearly, and I respect the fact that he wants to be nice, right? He wants to say, hey, I wish you the best, Kyle. I don't know if he actually believes that. I don't know. Maybe he does. But anyways. I don't. But that's okay. I mean, we can differ on that. He thinks he should come back and be just successful after he serves him time. Well, the time he's looking at, he's pretty much assured to get 60 days. And that's through 30 days times 2, because he has 2 contempt charges he's looking at. 30 days max each, and I'm sure he's going to get the max. Why wouldn't he not get the max after all this? So that's 60 days looking there. He might have a third contempt. I'm not positive of this. I can't get a direct answer from my lawyer on it because he's not sure either. But the court has ordered him to update his address in the electronic filing system. And they could, I guess, maybe go after him for contempt on that. I don't know. And by the way, my lawyer did not say he wasn't sure about it. I just don't think he's answered it because he may not be sure of it. But oh wait, going to Unicorn 5 New Zealand. If Ethan wants to give a repeat offender who offended at the level Kyle has a chance, he can do so at his risk. No one can stop Ethan. Absolutely, yeah, no, go ahead, brother, do it, man. Yeah, dude, if he wants to, take that risk, more power to him. But I just want to show the comparative that, I have people that stream with me like Cheshire and Atheist Pastor and Landon Kurt Knoll and a bunch of other people, who I trust, Reg Rhetoric, and they could crap on these people all they want. Trolls have been doing that for years. So what? But you know what? None of them have been convicted for fraud. Well, I shouldn't say. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I have to be very careful because people twist my words clearly. They have found liable for fraud. None of them have been found liable for fraud. None of them have been convicted for possession of, cocaine and breaking and entering. None of them had that happen to them. None of them have ever found liable for fraudulent conversion. None of them have been found liable for breach of contract or breach of duty. I have had a couple of different court cases. I've never lost any. You can go look them up. I mean, that's something that you can actually find if you really wanted to go look. I have had a number of court cases, nothing of any consequence, minor stuff. I even sued the power company, empirical irradiation. So go look it up. I mean, you want to waste resources? Be my guest. Mikey Cage, tag the Great Debate Community channel so I can see it easier. I'm about a minute behind, but tell us how you really feel about Kyle. By the way, I'm in full agreement with you. That's me being nice, man. Trust me. I'm me, Mikey. I got a lot of things to say when I want to say it, and when I go off, I just go off. But I'm trying not to. This is actually, I call this the cesspool. I'm trying to take a more analytical approach. I'm trying to take a very reasonable, measured approach, right? I don't want to just sit there and rant. I could do that. I mean, I have Unleashed videos where I can rant with the best of them, man. But and by the way, catch up. Do it at 1.5 speed. It's faster. So. See, Brandon says he doesn't want to wish ill with Kyle. And I respect Brandon for that. I really do, man. I don't feel the same way when it comes to that. I want justice. And originally I just wanted, look, I've always mostly been into reparative justice, right? I don't think that retributive justice has much effect in most cases. Not always, though. And I think that in this particular case, there needs to be not just reparative, but retributive justice of some sort through the legal system as well. Right? So I do think that when this is all said and done, there'll be the civil matter to take care of. There'll be multiple civil and contempt things to deal with that. And then I think afterwards, because the DA was at the last hearing, right? The DA was at the last hearing. That the DA will probably file perjury charges, forgery charges, maybe embezzlement, and submission of altered evidence, from what I understand. Now, again, those are up to the DA. I totally agree with that. We have no say in that. That's not a civil matter. That's a criminal matter. But like I said, the DA is involved. As I've been telling people, he was at the hearing because it's a criminal contempt hearing, so they need a DA to represent that. Although he has been I think it's a she, actually. I don't know. Whatever. They have been informed of the other stuff. They do know what's going on. So we'll see what happens there. But here's the thing. Again, if Kyle turned himself in, it goes a lot to sentencing and things like that. At least a lawyer can say, hey, look, he realized he was wrong. He turned himself in and try to alleviate some of the damages, try to mitigate some of the damages that's going to be coming his way, as far as not just financially, but as far as like punishment time, right? Because he has convicted felonies, and in North Carolina, they do contribute to how you are punished through the court system. So in other words, if you have certain felonies, you'll get additional time, right? So let's play some more. Who would wish ill on Kyle? People that want retributive legal justice. Again, let me clarify that. Legal justice. Nobody wants anybody hurt. Nobody's ever advocated to hurt anybody. I mean, look, as much as I detest Kyle, I would never want to physically do anything to him. I would never. I mean, granted, in my mind, sure, you want to punch people. I get that. Would I actually do it? No. I wouldn't. First of all, he's bigger than me. He would probably be able to beat me up. He looks like he's jacked and he's working out. But no, violence doesn't solve these types of things. What does is through the legal system.
I don't know what it would be, probably like we did before. We interview people or talk about a topic, I don't know if it would be on this channel or another channel.
No, you can't hear the audio because you can't hear Brandon because his voice is so low. So that you're going to have to read the subtitles when the closed captioning when Brandon speaks. Sorry about that.
Channel. I don't know. I miss the guy and I miss creating with the guy, but he's got his legal stuff that he's got to handle first. And once that's handled, if he wants to come back and he wants to do a show, sitting here right now in front of you, yes, I would do that show with him.
Okay, well, there you go. And you're by the way, you are more than allowed to, man. Like I said, I seriously question your honor and your integrity, but that's you. But again, he might be looking at, I'm just throwing this out there. Don't quote me on this, but it could be anywhere 5-10 years if he gets, sentenced on perjury, forgery, and embezzlement. Again, that's another. He's going to eventually have to go deal with these things. He can't just run away from these things. But we know Kyle. He likes to pull the blankets over his head, as he's, so to speak. This is why he didn't show up for anything. He didn't have anything to show. He didn't have a case. And so instead of just dealing with it, this all could have been resolved 2 years ago, but his ego got the best of him. He was told, do this, do that, I think, by from dishonest agents, and he got some bad advice, and he ran with it, and it's just basically screwed him. And by the way, I thank them for that. Yes, it's been very long and arduous, but I tell you what, I play the long game, and I think in the long run, what would have been just, hey, turn back over the channel, pay me the money, and be done with it. Now he has triple damages against him, non-dischargeable debt, because you cannot do a bankruptcy on something that has been fraud or breach of fiduciary duty. And he will probably have a mandatory payment plan of some sorts. We're trying that civilly, or if we can't get civilly, through criminally, but we're working on that angle. And he basically is definitely going to jail. He's looking probably, like I said, 60 days for criminal contempt, and then however long it takes him to purge the civil conditions, which could be indefinite for most part. So thank you guys for that. Because they extended this out for him. That never would have happened if he just would have taken our advice to begin with, but he didn't.
Will that change? I don't know. Before we get on to anything else, because I know a lot of people are here just for this and they don't care about anything else. What questions do you have for me or about Kyle? Go ahead and tag me in the chat. I'll definitely answer them.
All right, so the Q&A time. I have some questions for him, but he wouldn't answer them, I'm sure. Chief Airline says 5 to 10 years. Yeah, 10 years probably push it. Yeah, I'm being conservative. I think so, 5 years. So, Big Digits Troll says, I think it might be a troll, I don't know. He said, you've said that it's never about the getting the channel back. I never said that. What I said was, it's not about any of that now. It's past that because the channel's dead. Initially, it was about getting the channel back, clearly. But now, Kyle has broken the law. Now it's about, retributive justice, so to speak, rather than restorative justice. So, yeah, it's a dead channel. So, it's kind of irrelevant when I get it back or not at this point, isn't it? Sure, it would be nice, and we'd try to do our best, and everybody thinks we'd fail at it. Okay, whatever. But whether we get it back or not is not as important to me as one, seeing Kyle pay for what he has done, and I mean that financially and judiciously. If he gets a $150,000 judgment against him that he has to pay off in monthly amounts, right, monthly payment things, because like I said, it's become criminal, that's fine with me. And if he has to serve months in jail or years in jail if it goes to the DA, which I pretty much expect that it will, no promises. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, that to me is satisfying enough, because I've already moved on to doing other things on my channels. I'm already putting debates back on my channel, so I'm just going to build my channel up that way.
Can't like heal.
I know you guys can't hear Brandon, but read the CCs.
Let's see what we got. I'm going through. Eric says physical gel incoming. Let me get that up. There we go. Maybe. What I'm hearing, Holy Spackle says, is a middle finger to Steve. Yeah, it kind of feels like. Yeah. Okay, Holy Spackle. This is somebody who I never want to have any interactions with again. I detest this person and loathe them as a human being. It kind of feels like Kyle's letting Steve define him, and Kyle doesn't need to do that. I think if Kyle just went and directly confronted all of this and dealt with it, it would kind of relieve a lot of that. And
Steve is Lady Cotton. What is that? Is that a closed caption mistranslation if I've ever seen it? Can you see that? Steve is Lady Cotton. I don't know even what he said. I'm not even going to rewind it. I'm just going to go with that. That is funny. Steve is Lady Cotton. Oh, man. Tweet that out, man. Tweet that out. That's hilarious. People were like, what the hell does that mean? Go watch this video. Steve is Lady Cotton. I don't know why I find that funny, but I do. Oh man. What the hell does that even mean? I'm trying to get this to play again. There we go. Oh, that's hilarious. There we go. Trying to cough and mute at the same time, sorry. Let me put this on 2x speed because I'm having a hard time hearing it myself. Kyle just still non-sexual. I love this. I love this closed captioning. It is great. I don't use that often on issue. I should. But thank you, Feline, pointing that out. Kyle just steal the non-sexual. I don't know how to interpret that. Mikey Cage says, you will always be non-sec in my eyes. You were the reason I subbed. It's the science that you talked about that made the channel great. I'm sure many agree with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know I love you, man. Look, man, I got to tell you, I hate basketball, but you told me you're going to take me to a basketball game, and I'm going to find a way to take you up on that offer, man. Just because I want to go hang out with you, and we'll watch some sports or whatever. I'd rather go to a football game, be honest with you. That would be more enjoyable to me, but, have to compromise there. But, man, that would be awesome. And by the way, fun fact, well, okay, let me rephrase that because, I have no way to verify this, and I gotta be specific. But I have a sneaky suspicion that all these trolls that always come over on this channel, they're from Ethan's troll group. You know, they're part of that group over there that we left. I mean, I distanced myself from the Holy Spackle 5 years ago. Want absolutely nothing to do with her. She still comes around. Don't talk about her. I don't mention her. I don't tweet to her, about her. But she can't. She for 5 years. What is it? 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, just refuses to let us just be on our own. And yet we're the bad people. But these trolls that come over, they're from that side of the fence, right? So this is hilarious. This proves my point all day long.
On YouTube.
I should do video stuff on just closed captioning, things like that. That'd be a riot. Some of them are so off.
There would be less of a Steve wouldn't have as much influence over Kyle's life. And right now Steve has a lot of influence over Kyle's life because Kyle has warrants out for his arrest because of not appearing for the thing with Steve.
Oh, okay, let's correct that here. No, it's why would I have influence over Kyle's life? No, the court has influence over Kyle's life because of Kyle's own actions or inactions, as the case may be. This has nothing to do with me. This is what I'm saying. Your ability, Ethan, to understand these things is absurd. This is not me weighing some kind of influence over him or having dominion over Kyle. Nothing like that. It's the court. Everything that Kyle has done by choice, by his own cognizance. Nothing I've done. I've done nothing but pursue justice, which I'm allowed to do in the legal system. And ethically speaking, almost like an owns to do so if I have the ability to. And I did have the ability to, and I went through with it. But Kyle's doing this to himself. Everything has happened to Kyle has been Kyle's own doing, or like I said, in this case, I guess inactivity, really. But going to Unicorn $2. Steve, can you get at Brandon Worrell in? He's here. I'm just going to do this solo because I'm not going to take too long, and I don't want to have another audio problem. So I'm just going through this. So not this time. I'm not set up for it. But if Brandon wants to, throw out on the live chat there his opinion on this, I'd be happy to read him out. I'm trying to get through this pretty quick. Again, I only want to do about 13 minutes of it, and I got some things to show. I can't imagine this going for another more 30 minutes. I want to keep these shows down to maybe an hour and a half at most. So I think I'll be done by 4 o'clock or 4. I started 15 minutes early. Hang on one second. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, cough. Yeah, that's it, Brandon. I mean, Brandon's right on this. He's, stole the non sequitur show from
I'd like
me.
to see Kyle just be able to get past all that and grow past that. I know he's probably scared of going and spending any kind of time incarcerated again. I get it. I don't want to spend any time incarcerated either.
Well, wait, okay. So what? He's scared. He chose to go to jail. If he goes to jail, it has been his decision. And it's just not like somebody's going to say like, that's like saying he chose to go to hell. God says worship me or believe in me or you're going to hell. Steve's turning into a theist. No, it's not the same thing. It's when you don't show up to a mandatory hearing where you're going to have an arrest warrant. If you don't show, that is a conscious choice. He made that conscious choice. I'm telling you what, it's probably a hell of a lot less scarier going to court than it is going to jail. Not my advice sound when I said, look, Kyle can avoid jail time if he shows up to court. He would have not had 2 contempt charges had he showed up to court. That's 60 days that he would not have be looking at for going to jail. He could avoid civil just by meeting the purge conditions. Everything Kyle can do has been his own saying to the court, screw you. So who cares if he's scared? Again, what's more scarier, going to jail or going to a court and saying, I don't want a criminal contempt charge because, I'm scared of going to jail. Okay, then that's thrown out. If he would have showed up to court, there would have been no criminal contempt. What am I missing here there, Ethan? I don't understand your reasoning here that he's scared. So you want me to slow it down a little bit? I can do that. I'll slow it back down to 1.5.
Right? Like it doesn't sound very fun. It sounds very much like the opposite of fun. But
Ethan actually sounds normal at 1.5 speed. That's weird. A lot of people do that, but he's one of those few that actually
Tyler
really good.
Says, only one question matters. What did he get with that $60,000? Well, obviously he got this suit.
Yeah, right. See how mocking that is? It's like, he obviously got the suit. Now, I don't know if he meant lawsuit or was actually suit. Yeah, no, he meant suit. No, like literally suit. No, yeah, he showed the picture. He's not even talking about the lawsuit, right? Which actually would have been kind of funny, right? Well, he obviously got this suit, meaning lawsuit. That would have been funny, but I don't think Ethan has that kind of creative humor. But he's talking about, the suit that Kyle's wearing. It's basically a big fuck you to the Non Sequitur Show fans that all that money that they donated, that Kyle stole, Ethan has no problem with. He just mocks it and go, well, he bought a suit with it. This is the level of your integrity there, Ethan. Good job.
I mean, look at that.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not funny. I think it's disgusting that he thinks it's perfectly fine to steal money from people.
Look at that. That's a glamour shot. That is a glamour shot. That's where I think the $60,000 went myself. Secret Squirrel says, does Kyle need more money for a $400 jail suit?
See, to them they're not taking it seriously, right? I mean, Kyle's going to jail and possibly prison, and they still don't care. I don't think for a second Ethan or any one of them gives a crap about Kyle. None of them give a crap about Kyle. This is all just a troll to them. Like I said, these are part of the troll people that we distanced ourselves from ages ago that we wanted nothing to do with. And you don't take my word for it. I don't care. You can watch them and see that's all they're about. So.
Linda says, I'm just hoping Kyle is okay, and I feel the same way. He's been through a lot. Listen, he's done a lot of wrong things. I do not dispute that. Kyle has done wrong things. He has lied, and he has been deceptive. There's evidence that it looks like he may have forged documents that he gave to a court.
It looks like, yeah, I mean, you can go look at that and see that it was forged, and you have testimony from Ben that was forged. I mean, come on, it was forged. Now, I'm going to give him a little bit of, I normally don't give principal charity people like Ethan, but in this case, there's no reason not to. Yeah, he probably means, yeah, it does look like that's the case. Yeah, okay, fine, that's a figure of speech. I get that. But he recognizes that Kyle's lied. He's recognized he's been deceptive. I challenge anybody. Show me in the court record what I've lied about. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Give it a shot. I'm happy to take that on. There's been nothing. I can back up everything I've given to the court. In affidavit, I didn't have depositions. I didn't need to, which, again, people were lying about. Steve's going to be deposed. No, I'm not. There was no reason for that. There was never a reason for that. I would have been if we, maybe if it gone to trial. But Kyle didn't show up.
I'm not brushing past that. That's really, really bad. But Kyle is a great creator on this platform. And if he can handle these legal issues, I would love to create with him again, because I think we create things together very, very
well. Oh, so that just makes it all the better. So he's a convicted felon with multiple things he has found liable for, steals all this money from the fans, screw the fans over. But hey, he's a good creator. That's what you're talking about, chasing subs and you're chasing, view counts. You're willing to sacrifice your integrity to stream with somebody that has done all these things to screw over the Non Sequitur Show fans, and people are talking about, sub chasing. I mean, come on.
That's always over his time. That's he told himself that's all the time.
Todd says, I feel like Kyle needs to grow up and show up. And Todd, I agree. He does.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that statement. That he needs to show up. I mean, he has to show up sometime. I mean, and again, the longer he prolongs it, like my attorney said, the worse it gets. When you're digging a hole, stop digging. Dig a hole. The judge even said the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. That was from the Judge Gale. And this new judge doesn't seem to be one of those judges that lets things go very long either. She gave him the benefit of the doubt the first time or so, and then it just was got progressively worse. You can hear, if you visualize the way the things were written, if you hear it in your head kind of thing, the tone seemed to change. It was more kind of a neutral, kind of a give a benefit of the doubt, and then after each time the judge had something through the court system, it has begun progressively more forceful. Right? At least that's the way I'm reading it. You guys can have your own subjective interpretation of it. But it does seem to me clearly that this judge has lost her patience with Kyle.
Eric says Kyle would have won just for showing up. Avoidance is an M effort.
Kyle would have won by showing up. Won what? He had nothing he could win. He had no evidence for anything. I mean, we had all the evidence that it was a 50-50 partnership, that he stole the money. All he had to do was pay me. You have to pay somebody. What could he have won? What was the win? I mean, I don't. They still on that weird narrative that Kyle would have won had it gone to trial. How? What evidence did he ever show? What evidence have you ever seen, Ethan? You've seen nothing from him. I know you've seen nothing from him because he's had nothing to show. He wanted to try it in the court of public opinion. He had nothing to offer anybody. He tried to spin this weird narrative that you bought into hook, line, and sinker because you're not a critical thinker like you think you are. You have no understanding of critical thinking. You are not a skeptic like you claim you are, and I mean that in the colloquial sense. And you never asked him for evidence that I committed fraud, medical fraud, want to be paid on the table, didn't want to be paid, whatever the narrative was of the day. You never asked him for that, and there was none provided to you. If Kyle would have had a shredded evidence for any of that, it would have been all over the place by now, and you damn well know it. That's what critical thinking is. Use some reason. So that to me implies that you don't care whether any of that stuff was true because you and other people were all putting that narrative out. Gala's engineer, Katie, Caitlin, Chloe, all of them were putting out this weird narratives about me committing fraud, which we now know Kyle lied about.
Yeah, I do. I think if he'd just shown up and I don't know, man. It's a confusing situation.
There's nothing confusing about it. Look at Brandon. I love Brandon's reaction on here because it's really, I think, is genuine. It is like, there's nothing confusing about this. It's confusing to you, Ethan, because I don't think you understand any of this.
Confusing situation.
Yes.
Kyle would have won. Quote, Kyle would have won just for showing up. How does that work in a legal system? I don't understand. Does that make any sense to anybody? Hey, you show up, you win. What? No, that's not how it works.
Well, thank you very much. Batsy is doing stuff with the toddlers. I told her about the stream. I was like, hey, I'm going to go live at 2 o'clock. I sent her the link, but I think she's...
irrelevant stuff.
Sinister Porpoise.
Oh, there's another winner. There's another winner.
I think you mean 60,000 divided by 2 because Python shell tells me something different than Steve does.
Yeah. That porpoise person is just not right in the head. Bizarre. I think she actually thinks that. I mean, I don't think she's so much as a troll as much as somebody who actually believes the nonsense and then likes to troll because of that. So I think she's one of the very few that actually buys into these narratives as if they're actually true. I think Ethan knows that many of them are full of shit because why would you call an FBI or medical or whatever it was that he claimed to call? Again, somebody remind me when Jess comes back on vacation, we'll figure it out because I want to keep my historical back straight. But he did admit to calling one of them, and he admitted he had nothing to show them. It was just basically Kyle saying something. So he basically used resources that could have been used somewhere else, and I would think made a what do they call it when you make a call, false public statement to a official agency. If you did. Matter of fact, maybe you know what I should do, and I'll seriously consider this. If Chester can find out what it was he did call, I will try to FOIA that request maybe. Because if a call was made, there has to be a record of it, and under the Freedom of Information Act, I'd like to know what Ethan had actually said to these. And by the way, I've never been investigated by the FBI, so I mean, it's just for him. I'm pretty sure it was the FBI that he said, but I could be wrong on that. So I mean, it was one or the other.
I'm just not really good enough at math to answer.
Do you guys remember on that out there? Let me know what he said.
My question. I'm so sorry.
I can't remember everything, guys.
He did the wrong thing. He's still doing the wrong thing. He needs to deal with it and get it over with. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're ever confronting legal issues, just deal with them. Just go straight into them and say, here's what happened, here's what I did or didn't do, and you just confront it. Because avoiding it's not going to help you in the long run. You just got to go, you got to face it head on. Todd says, do you think he's finally going to deal with it or wait for it to be forced? I don't know, man. My hope is that the reason that he popped his head up in the community again is because he's planning to deal with it.
No, the reason why he popped his head up is because he needed his narcissistic supply. This is a long-standing thing that Kyle has done that I've said numerous times. When he wants some adoration, he will pop in to say, love me. I've got this covered, and then lie to everybody, and you guys keep believing it. Like, you remind me of, Ethan. You remind me of Lucy and Peanuts in the football. When she's holding the football and Charlie Brown comes running up to that football thinking it's going to, be able to be kicked and make a field goal or whatever, and she pulls the ball away. That's you. You're Lucy here.
That's my hope.
Actually, no, sorry. You're Charlie Brown. Kyle's Lucy. Yeah, my bad. Kyle is Lucy in this scenario, in this analogy, and you're Charlie Brown because you keep on thinking that the ball's going to be kicked.
I have zero proof, zero reason to think that other than just knowing Kyle, just
knowing Kyle,
how he...
just knowing Kyle. Let me think. Okay, so you guys may have heard some of my other streams where I've talked about 4 levels of opinion, and again, this is strictly my view on it. Take it, leave it. I don't care. It's just mine. Well, I have opinion that's just completely unjustified. Opinion that is more visceral, but has some kind of intuitive reasoning or something that gives you a little more reasons to believe something, like intuition. There's weak opinion, where you have reasons to believe something, but you can't really show them to other people. They may not transportable, or they're just a conglomeration, a collection of reasons. And then you have strong opinion, which is basically fact, right? I have strong opinion that A equals A because it's a law of identity, right? It's not just mere opinion. It's not just a visceral thing, I think in this particular case, he's doing the first one, like just pure non-justified opinion. By knowing Kyle has lied to people. Kyle said he has a lawyer. Had a lawyer. He didn't. His second lawyer withdrew from the case because he lied to her. I mean, this is all evidential. This is all in the record. What has Kyle told the truth about? But, knowing Kyle, I believe him. That's basically what Ethan's saying. Oh, okay, man. That's wow. I'm just at a loss,
Kind of, he dips his toes into things as a little bit at a time until he's ready to go in full force, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this was the first sign that he's gonna start to take this thing seriously.
He's had 2 years to take it seriously. Brandon's still going. Oh my God, that look on Brandon's face is just so apropos. It's perfect. It is like, wow. That is how I feel right now, my man. That is how I feel, Brandon. It's like that is that's the look that just says it all right now, man. I'm dying here. That's brilliant. He's just looking at that thing going, dude, what are you thinking here? Oh,
yeah. Lady Starfire says the same thing. They both need to man up and act like adults. Get it handled and over with. I just agree. Almost sent something twice. Okay, Mark says Kyle has done wrong is one thing. Drawing a line and not having anything to do with him is how I deal with that. Yeah, Mark, and I agree with that. What Kyle's done here isn't, violent or anything. He's just not shown up for court, which is stupid. But he hasn't. The only person he's hurt is himself.
Wait a minute here. Again, this is what I'm saying. You are not a critical thinker, man. By any stretch of the imagination. He has not just hurt himself. He's hurt me. He's hurt Ruhif. He's hurt the fans of the Non Sequitur show. He's hurt the people that put trust in him. I mean, are you that negligent to just sit there and bold-faced lie to people saying he's just hurt himself? Or is that just your inability to conceptualize the fact that he has harmed a lot of people because for some reason you have this weird, almost bizarre adoration for the guy, which again you're allowed to have. I don't give a crap. Put him on a pedestal, worship him. I don't care. You can make him into a messiah figure for all I give a shit. But you have this weird blind devotion to him, but you're saying things that are just categorically false. He has hurt other people. That is a false statement you just made. Period. Whether you're aware of it or not, that to me I have to question. If you're aware of it, then you're just dishonest and lying about this, which I think partly you are in this particular case. I mean, I know you do lie, but it's worse if you're that compartmentalized in your mind with such cognitive dissonance that your brain melts, that you really think to yourself he's only hurt himself. I mean, come on. And Tree Feeling says, can it even be a second lawyer if the other claimed one never existed in the first place? Yeah, fair point. And if he does get another lawyer, it's probably going to be a defense lawyer, right? I'm telling him, here's great advice. Go get a defense attorney or a public defender. You don't need a lawyer for the civil case. That part's done. This has gone criminal, like I've said. It's gone criminal. He needs to find a criminal defense lawyer or at least get a public defender. And that would be the best way he can mitigate things. Will he do that? I doubt it. But who knows, right? I don't think he's going to do anything on his own accord. I don't think he's just that in touch with reality. Okay, but if other people force to basically say, hey, look, dude, you need to do this. If he actually had a significant other and that person ever gave a shit about him, why would he want him to go be to jail for prison for 5 to 10 years? Why would he want him to go to jail at all for even 60 days? He'd be like, you got to go take this care of it, right? So I don't think this person knows anything about it if they do have that kind of relationship. Going to Unicorn $2 New Zealand. Way to be a fraud apologetic and gaslight the victim. Exactly. This is fraud apologetics right here, without question. And then gaslight me. Well, oh, well, Steve wasn't hurt by any of this. I mean, I don't know if that's really gaslighting. I'm going to, probably say, no, he's gaslighting other people. Maybe, was I really hurt by this? I don't know. Yeah, sure, that's gaslighting. Question their reality kind of thing. But I know I was hurt, so you can't gaslight me. No, and I don't just like I mean emotionally. I mean hurt financially, hurt defamationally, hurt with my character. This has been slanderous to me and libelous for me for 2 years, not just from him but from other people as well. This has been a coordinated effort to smear me. But I think what's happening now is people realizing that it's coming to a head that, hey, look, there are actual trolls out there. There are actual people that are trying to harm me and people that I care about, and it happens to anybody around me. Right? They'll go after anybody that associates with me, and then they go, oh, shit, Steve's right. It solidifies what I've been saying. I don't have to do a damn thing to even prove my case at that point. It's like, hey, look what happened to Rohog. Rohog had me on his channel, and, man, they've been going after him full throttle because of it. I heard he actually got one of the channels shut down, like Lulz Cal University. Clearly not a troll channel, right? Hashtag sarcasm. So.
Which I think he needs some.
That pause. I didn't do that. Oh. Yeah, so even Brandon points that out. Brandon's like, hey, what are you talking about, Ethan?
Help. Mentally, I don't think mentally he's in the right place if he's avoiding these types of things. But he's not gone out and done anything to hurt anyone else. He's just hurt himself. So I don't feel like that's something that would make me not want to associate with him just because he's being dumb. He's not injured anyone or
okay. I seriously, do I really need to point out the problem with this statement? I mean, do I really need to? Does anybody out there that has not been paying attention to this think that I was not injured? Anyone that I have not been injured in this? That Ruh has not been injured in this? I mean, sure, he's talking physically, and I'm not trying to have equivocation here, but that's still injury. When we talk about legal terms, there's an injured party is somebody who is injured not just only physically, but financially is an injured party, right?
Or done anything that would cause harm to anybody.
You did, yeah. See, Brandon points that out. In the larger context, he has hurt people. But again, even if Ethan means just physically, he's not competent enough to make these nuanced distinctions and say things like, look, he's not physically hurt somebody. He's throwing out these words like he's not, harmed anybody. He's not injured anybody. He doesn't seem to want to go, but I mean physically. And it still would have been a bad argument, but I think he does that on purpose, because of course there's financial injury. Sure.
Yes. As for people.
Yes. Like I'm saying, go watch this video on Brandon's channel directly because he's got some really good takes on it. This is why I wanted to have him on last time, but we had technical difficulties. And mental harm, yes. I mean, stress sucks, man. I had a canker sword. And of course, it's an amalgamation of stress. It's not just Kyle. There's other huge factors going on right now with me. So, I mean, yeah, there's harm there, man. But see, unlike Kyle, I deal with shit. I'm taking necessary steps. And again, I play the long game. He has hurt people. Yeah, he has hulked people. I got to do a show just on poor closed captioning because these are funny. I still can't go over was it Steve's cotton or something. It's hilarious. Brandon's just basically reiterating
despite
that.
what some people might tell you. We aren't going there, but the only person he's hurting right now is him. So I think if he gets his head on straight, he'd be great to create with again.
How does he think that he's only hurting him? I'm just at a loss. Yeah, just trying to isolate it, making it minimize it, right? Oh, Kyle's only hurting himself. He didn't hurt all these other people. He hasn't damaged Steve or the fans or Kyle or the show.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe,
yeah,
like I said, maybe I'll feel differently whenever that time comes. But right now, I would absolutely create with him again. Banther Tracks. Is Kyle avoiding just as much to annoy Steve?
T, please tell me somebody's able to copy of the Discord call Brandon is talking about. Got the feeling the judge making fun of North. No, judge doesn't care about any of that stuff.
Than anything. You know, look, it feels like that, right? It feels like he's got a way to just annoy Steve, and that's why he's doing this. I don't know.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's not annoying. What it is it's criminal. You understand the difference, Ethan? I mean, you're literally telling people what I've been saying all along, that Kyle's ego is what was the downfall of the Non Sequitur show. That his ego is the cause of all this. You have just sat there and said, it's to annoy Steve. Well, it's not annoying me. It is basically causing harm to a bunch of people, and you don't seem to give a shit about that. And it's criminal, which you don't seem to give a shit about that. You've just completely just overlooked all those different aspects. Because you are just as dishonest, in my opinion, you are just as dishonest as he is when it comes to that. You don't give a damn about the facts. You've never given a damn about the facts. It's all about trolling people. You pretty much even admit this by you're going on these things, these rants about me, and you basically show everybody exactly what I've been saying, that you just don't care about facts and critical thinking and skepticism like you've claimed, because you've ignored all the facts, all the evidence. You've just ignored them, and you've stated things that are categorically false, which I'll get into. Going to Unicorn Fly to New Zealand. I wouldn't trust Kyle with my broomstick. Forget content or my poor 100 sub channel LMFAO. Yeah, like I said, I don't understand how anybody at this point could not recognize that Kyle is a master manipulator. He is a very dishonest person. I wish I would have known that early on. I did trust him. My mea culpa. But, you can't really blame the victim there. Things would have been just fine had he not let his ego get in the way of things. Again, that was the reason why this all started. And, and here's Ethan basically just verifying what I've said, right? Just basically saying, yeah, it's just, all this is to annoy Steve. It's not about the money. It's not about the justice. It's just to annoy Steve.
But that's what it feels like. It, certainly looks, quacks, and walks like that duck. Titan Uranus says, NSS, the gift that keeps on giving. Excuse me. Secret Squirrel says, it's not like he's done a fundraiser for fake cancer or something like that. It's between him and another.
Yeah, well, when have I ever done a fundraiser for fake cancer? Please let me know. I must have missed that somewhere along the lines. I actually donated to that particular fundraiser, and I got a refund on that, by the way. Why would I have donated to something that I thought was fraudulent? Use a little common sense there, Ethan. But again, you don't care about facts now, do you? And by the way, I never promoted that fundraiser either. That was on Red's Rhetoric channel, and he was really hurt by that. But you have to have emotions to be hurt. You have to have feelings to be hurt. Which, maybe Ethan has. Maybe they're so twisted and distorted, though, they're almost unrecognizable at this point. But yeah, I had nothing to do with a fraudulent fundraiser for cancer. Fun fact. But again, Ethan doesn't care about that, does he? It's not of relevancy. If it's a way to troll people, he'll throw that out there.
Exactly, Secret Squirrel. Exactly. You know what? And Kyle did a fundraiser to pay a lawyer. You know what he did with the money? Paid a lawyer.
Oh, okay. So, let's think about this here again. Kyle did a fundraiser to get a lawyer that he lied to, because he lied to the court of his reasoning, because he had told the court that he had moved and he wasn't properly served. We all knew that he was served properly. Matter of fact, it was Ethan and the rest of them that said he wasn't served properly. They were wrong on that. Some of them still actually think that he was served properly. I mean, that's how delusional they are. But we had said all along, we know he was served properly. We know the law. My lawyer was like, no, he was served properly. I mean, he has to rebut this. Good luck with that. He never did rebut it. Service was assumed proper. He didn't rebut it. We knew he wasn't going to rebut it. There was nothing he could rebut, because he was, even if he even was, as the judge said, if he had moved, service would have still been proper. So wherever he got that idea from to say, oh, I'm going to say that I moved, good job. That was brilliant legal reasoning there, guys. Really did well for him, because now he's looking at criminal charges for that, for the perjury on that, and the submission of altered evidence of that, because he altered the evidence for the Zelle, the disc cover, and the Amazon. Why he did that, I have no idea. What the hell's the point of doing that? That was bizarre. And he actually changed the date on an Amazon statement, saying that he got a package 6 months prior than he did on an account that wasn't open until like 6 months later. He had changed all the dates on it, which is just weird. But what happened with that lawyer, Ethan? Oh, that lawyer withdrew from the case, citing Rule 1.16b, 147, and 10, because he had lied to her. That is fraud. I mean, that is, to me, a more fraudulent fundraiser, because his reasons to get the fundraiser was to fight me, claiming that he moved. That was a lie. That was a dishonest reason for the fundraiser. How much more fraudulent can you get than that? Yes, I'm aware now that Moon lied about her things. I wasn't aware of that at the time. You, I believe, knew Kyle was lying about that. And here you are. You're not even denouncing it. You're like, oh well, hey, Lyle, he paid his lawyer with it. Kyle at least paid the lawyer with it. Therefore, it wasn't fraudulent. This is your understanding of ethics, man. I mean, at least I've denounced Moon. We wanted nothing to do with her after we found out that there was so much wrong with her story. But I wasn't involved in that. She was somebody that I knew, right? Somebody said she's doing a fundraiser. I said, hey, okay, I give her some money. I didn't make a big deal about it. I give a lot of people money for things that I don't talk about, because I don't need any kind of verification of that. I've bought things for people. I've helped out with people because I would like to reciprocate, because they've done a lot for me. So I try to give back, Ethan. And so, yes, I did give her money for a fundraiser. And when it all came around so like that, I got a refund on that. And I've sitting here saying what she did was horrific. And we've not talked to her. I've not talked to her since, not in any capacity. You're sitting there still talking to Kyle. Hell, you want to do a show with him even. That tells you the difference between your sense of ethics and mine. Mr. President 99, buddy, £5. Hey, President 99, good to see you, my friend. He says, quote, this space was left blank. Thanks, Steve, for a safe space for my mind. How can somebody be like this, willfully ignorant on things? Oh, that's actually good, dude. I like that, man. We could I usually we'll probably maybe bring somebody in on this show for that particular space, but that is good. This space was intentionally left blank. So if you want to park your mind there, because this stuff is just unreal, there you go. And we're almost done with this part of the video, because the second part's irrelevant kind of thing, so if I remember correctly.
I'm just saying. Di says, to be honest, unless a person has been in the position where they've had a warrant out for the rest, they don't know what they're talking about. And that's true. You have a good point, Di, and I haven't, right? The worst I've had to deal with is traffic stuff, so you're right. I don't understand the mindset.
But he didn't have to have that warrant out. He chose. He knew he was going to get a warrant out, and he still didn't show up.
And I have to, keep that in the back of my head.
Right? Right. As Brandon says, it doesn't excuse anything. Brandon's exactly right.
Doesn't excuse Kyle for
that. I haven't been there, and so I don't know what it's like. Angry Roach says Kyle did do something very wrong. Kyle killed a channel. Boy, we could go back and forth for hours on that one. All we know is that the channel is dead. And Todd says April being in a chat to get all.
killed the channel.
Yeah. And like I said, you can't hear the audio, and I recognize that. Just look at the
sides of the story. I'm doing my due diligence to make an educated guess as to what the truth actually is, and then I cut you off. There's something in the settings that's cutting off the longer message.
Anyways, I think that's about it for that. If I remember correctly, I was only about 20-some minutes, and there's about half of it I was going to play.
Yeah, and Todd, you're fine here.
But I'll go a few minutes more, but then there's a couple other things I want to talk about with this guy.
I'm glad you're here. I am. Di says, this is not a dental or hospital appointment, it's years of incarceration. Well, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that the offense of just not showing up for court would equal years of incarceration.
Well, and he's not wrong on that. In North Carolina, there's, for not showing up, or for criminal contempt, there's sanctions, $500 fine, and or 30 days in jail, or a mixture of that, right? So yeah, the most you can get for not showing up is 30 days, not years. But there are 2 criminal contempts now for 2 hearings. So that's 60 days from what I understand. And also the DA, again, is looking at, criminal prosecution for these things. That will be, if they get prosecuted, no doubt, years, because he has priors, and these are pretty substantial things. I mean, they're not like Class A felonies. They're Class, I think, EG or something, or IG. But, forgery, perjury, embezzlement, and then, on top of that, criminal contempt charges and priors. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. 5 to 10 years seems to be a reasonable thing. That's what we've, kind of bantered around if the DA decides to file. And the DA's got a slam dunk case. We've already turned things over to the DA for filing for criminal things, not just the criminal contempt. So we have turned it over. The DA is aware of all this stuff. I assure you on that.
Accused of when it comes to simply say those who
Yeah, I think that's about the most of this video. I don't think there's really much else that I really wanted to talk about it. I think he goes to talk about games.
It's just nuts, is what it is. Di says, the problem is if he hands himself in, he'll get remanded in jail till the case comes up. They will set a bail. He can't pay. Right, and that's what I'm saying. He might have to sit there for a while, until they can put it on the docket.
Well, he can sit there or he can bail himself out without. But see, the earlier you turn yourself in, the better it looks, right? And now that it's a status conference rather than a hearing, he needs to turn. There's nothing to turn. There's no hearing to be had now, right? So it's not just turn himself into the hearing. There's now a status conference. So he screwed himself there. Had he turned himself in prior to the judge doing a sua sponte, which means that a motion from the court, not from the litigants. So before the judge did a sua sponte order to change the hearing to a status conference, he would have been in much better shape. But now that's a status conference. It doesn't matter whether he's turned himself in or not for the hearing. There's still an active arrest warrant out, and it's about to get worse for him. It's about to get much worse for him, I have a feeling. We are doing other discovery things now. I'm not going to give you specifics, but we are asking for other forms of discovery now, and not from him. Okay, so it's about to get much worse, I think, for him than he realizes. So that was his choice. He could have showed up, but since he didn't, we're taking things to the next level again. So this is all on him, man. If he would have turned himself in, this is what I'm saying from the beginning. If he would have just gone to court, none of this would have happened. It's all been his choice. If he would have just turned himself in prior to the change in hearing to status conference, he wouldn't have additional things he's looking at we are now looking into, and now again filing additional discovery motions after the sua sponte hearing. Somebody asked, what's status conference? Status conference is when the judge wants the two lawyers together in a video conference, or in court. In this case, it's going to be a video conference, to ask them, okay, so this person here is clearly avoiding coming into court. They have multiple arrest warrants out. I'm going to give some sanctions. What is it you would like? We know exactly what we would like for sanctions. We know exactly what we're going to be asking for discovery motions that will possibly lead to additional things. For example, if we got certain things from some other certain things that can show that he had done other certain things or things of that nature. I'm being as vague as possible here. Then we're going full throttle, and obviously we wouldn't be filing those extra discovery motions had he just shown up, right? But since if the judge is going to give us sanction things and have a status conference to say, okay, what's going on here, and allowing us to file these new discoveries, which we probably wouldn't have been before. Okay. And by the way, I don't mind putting it out there. I want him to know. There's nothing harming the case here. I want him to know how bad he screwed up. He should have turned himself in. He should have gone to court. Because I will tell you right now, we are filing more stuff. So, anyways, so that's his video there. I'm gonna leave it there because I'm just bored with this dude. He is just so myopically ignorant of any kind of ethical considerations whatsoever. Now, there's a couple other things that he did say that I want to talk about. That he said before. I'm gonna start a little slideshow here. I think I have it for 8 seconds, so they're gonna go by pretty quick. But basically, Ethan, for some reason, being the armchair lawyer that he thinks he is, that he has no understanding of, says some things on Twitter that we know now are categorically false. Has he apologized for it? Of course not. Has he retracted anything? Of course not. Does he even give a shit? Of course not. But we know now that these statements were not true. So, and a couple of different things he was saying had dealt with the filing of the TRO under the Violence Against Women's Act, the VAWA. We know now that that was false. Matter of fact, I have correspondence with my lawyer saying, yeah, that never happened. The judge never did that. We all know now that the Violence Against Women's Act was already known. It doesn't even apply to me. It would never have applied with me. And if Ethan had done any due diligence, like the quote skeptic that he claims to be, the evidentialist, the critical thinker that he wants people to think that he is, he would have gone and go find that out and said, oh, look, how could this be possible? This doesn't even apply to people like Steve. It would be somebody who is a family member or somebody who has lived with them or had a relationship with of a romantic type, which, of course, clearly was not the truth. But he never bothered with any of that stuff. He never looked in. And so we know now that this was a false thing. This never happened. Does he care? No. But these statements were basically him just lying to people because I hate giving principle of charity. There are people that I know that are dishonest. I really dislike it. But in this particular case, I don't know whether he lied or not. What I will say that he definitely didn't do his due diligence because anybody can go check this. It doesn't take that much effort to go say, okay, what is this act and how would it apply? In fact, I have it right here. It is very clear that it is only for people that have a relationship. It says the VAWA only applies, Ethan. You know what the word only means? Only applies to certain types of relationships between the petitioner and the persons against whom the order is sought. These include, let's check these out. Live chat, can you guys help me out with this? Let's go through these. And if this does not apply, say no. If it does apply, say yes, and we'll discuss it. Okay? I don't need one answer. Everybody can answer, but I'm going to pick the first one I see, I think. All right, here we go. A spouse or former spouse of the respondent or defendant. So I asked the audience, especially I'll ask the tree feline. I don't, but the rest can answer too. But is tree feline, does that apply to me? Am I a spouse or former spouse of the respondent or defendant in that case? Next one. A person who lives or has lived with a respondent or defendant, i.e. who resides or resides together in a sexual or romantic relationship. Have I ever lived with them in that kind of relationship? Please answer yes or no. Again, a tree feline. We already know how these are going to go. So, but I just look for the yes or no's on that. So, from a tree feline, a child of the respondent or defendant, a child of the intimate partner, or a child in common of the respondent or the defendant and the intimate partner, including where parental rights have been terminated. Am I a child of the respondent or defendant? Am I a child of anything like that? Right? So we have one no, and so that's the first no from a tree feline. So no, I'm not a spouse or former spouse of the respondent or defendant. As far as we know. Trust me, man. I'm not. Okay. And then Trade Feeling says no, but Katie Joy claims I've been in a room together. Yeah, that's true. Good point. And lastly, a person with whom the respondent or defendant has a child in common, regardless of whether they were married or not, or married or cohabitated. These are the 4 conditions there, Ethan, none of which I match. If you would have done your due diligence, you would have known this. And again, I've actually shown now emails from my attorney in private, and I've actually shown on my blog. They're identical. Anybody can go look. They're there. My lawyer explicitly says the judge never filed this under VAWA. Now, in fact, that's something that I would have brought up in a defamation suit at some point, right? So that's one of the reasons why we didn't want the hearing. Well, I wanted the hearing. My lawyer's like, no, don't worry about the hearing. You go for a lawsuit. Go for a lawsuit because this is clearly wrong. I mean, of course, it's not in the VAWA, right? But anyways, that's that, right? So we know now that this was wrong. But yeah, Ethan was out there spewing this garbage out there. Didn't care whether it was true or not. Didn't take the time to go look. Such a relationship does not include boyfriends or girlfriends who do not live together and never live together. Yeah, you have to have lived together for this, right? Or at least one of the conditions that is possible is live together. Elder abuse. Okay, well, that wouldn't apply anyways. Siblings or abuse siblings, uncles, or uncles who abuse nieces, nephews, grandparents, or who abuse grandchildren. While horrific as that is, that doesn't fall under the Violence Against Women's Act. Now, does it fall under anything? Does it fall under other things? Absolutely, clearly, right? I mean, those are heinous things, but it's not under the VAWA. Roommates, neighbors, or strangers. I'm almost like a stranger for the most part. I mean, sure. I mean, there's a awareness of our existence online, right? But I've never met this person that filed the TRO. I've never been in the same state with them either. There's no way it possibly would have been filed under the VAWA. And again, I have confirmation from my lawyer that it was not. Like really needed to ask, right? But I wanted evidence. So with that, Ethan, you clearly do not do your due diligence, nor do you care. Going back to the things that you said, these are categorically false statements. And of course, you're not the only one. I'm not going to throw you out there as just the only one. There were other people that made these statements on Twitter too. They were shown to be wrong. None of them have corrected it. None of them have ever said, "Oh, I was incorrect on that. I apologize." So I will leave you guys with that. This is the type of dishonesty that we deal with daily. This is the type of crowd that we left behind, that we wanted nothing to do with these people. Now, I will, go on record and say I don't remember Ethan years ago being part of them. I think he came on the scene later, if I'm not mistaken. But he does associate with a lot of the same people that we want nothing to do with, that keep coming around, spewing these bullshit things just to try to do character assassination. So that's to me problematic behavior. That to me is somebody who definitely needs to seek additional therapeutic help. Again, I'm not a qualified psychologist, psychiatrist, medical, nothing. I have no qualifications in those areas for nothing. But as somebody who can just, I think, point out problematic behavior that probably needs some help, Ethan, you need some help. You have said things that are false. You have been shown by evidence they're false. Anytime you ever tell anybody that you're a critical thinker or you're a skeptic, you at this point, they will recognize you to be dishonest, I think. So that's, again, what this channel is, this show. I wouldn't say this channel. This channel is a mix of things. I do gaming on this channel. What this channel is just for the things I want to do. But I think this particular episode of the Cesspool, I've made it very clear that this is the type of person that will basically lie to an audience merely to troll people. I think there's a lot of trolling going on here. I think there's LARPing going on here. He claims to be he goes on to talk about being an actor and stuff like that in this video. If you want to go watch it, watch the rest on Brandon's channel, please do, because he does go on to talk about being an actor and on stage. I can tell you right now, brother, you suck at acting. You suck at it. I mean, no offense, but your acting skills are very poor. Even when I was listening to Ethan I was Roadhog's live chat listening to something, even people were going, "Is this guy serious? This guy is overacting." And I'm like, of course he's overacting. It's crap. And so people, not just me, think this, but they can definitely say by watching this video that you have made some categorically false statements, and just see if you want to apologize for them. Will I accept it? No. I'm gonna tell you right now, I won't accept your apology. I don't have to. I have no onus to do so. And I'm not going to, because you're a horrible person, I think. But would it go far with other people? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they might accept it. I mean, hell, how many times have you given Kyle a chance? Maybe some of your audience will give you a chance. I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest with you. But these are false statements that you have made. It was not filed under the VAWA. Let's see if you take the time to correct that. Okay, and with that, guys, thank you for watching. I think I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow. I'm 50-50 on it right now. Maybe I'm going to pull a Jimmy Snow here. If you want to see me do a video tomorrow on something from the I got ACA video that somebody sent me they want me to do, and I got No Plum video from 2012 that I have seen before, but it's so good, and people have asked me to kind of read it over it again. These are not very long videos. But I'm going to pull a Jimmy Snow. If you want me to do a video tomorrow on either No Plum, who I really have the utmost respect for, love his stuff, or something doing with the ACA because it's Sunday, which actually this one does, by the way. The No Plum video is about the atheist community. So Sundays I usually do a lot of things relating to more of the philosophy, atheism, agnosticism, that kind of stuff. I usually do those on Sundays. It just seems like a very apropos day to do it. But if I don't hear anybody, then I'm not going to stream tomorrow, and you'll be without me. And you have to like be worried all day and scared, and no, none of you guys care. I get that, but no, seriously, let me know what you want me to do tomorrow. If I'm 50-50, and it just maybe you guys can convince me. But if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, freaking Jimmy Snow, who again, was a part of all of this, integrally a part of all this, had said that he had a channel or something, a show called. What is it, the Someday Show, what he's referring to, or the line? I don't remember. Maybe it's a Someday Show. But he had said if he's not averaging 50,000 views, he's just going to stop doing it. And I'm like, wow. Wow. Okay, man. That's just, come on. Way to manipulate your audience there, brother. I'm just astounded that he thought that was going to fly. Oh, you guys need to watch this. If you don't watch this, I'm not going to do a show. Come on. Now, and people can say, well, the Drunken Peasants does that. Well, yeah, but the Drunken Peasants puts out a lot of content, and they actually say, look, we have if we meet a certain amount, we'll do a special show. That's a completely different thing. They're going to do a show regardless, right? And I'm still going to do a show regardless if I want to. I just want to know what you guys think. That's all. So, all right, with that, guys, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. I am really trying to take it easy today. I need a day to take it easy. This has been crap all over the place. But I appreciate you guys watching and listening, and you know how much I value your input on these things. I don't do these cesspool things just for my own health. I think a lot of it is, to be honest with you. I think a lot of it is. I just want to get these things out. And I don't want to put it on my main channel because I think it's a little more brutal than what I usually have on my main channel. My main channel, I try to be more math-oriented, philosophy. Although, granted, over the last, a couple of years, I've had to change that. I've obviously had a lot of unrelated stuff, but it all comes from the non sequitur stuff and the Great Debate Community stuff. So I met that on my main channel. I've had a lot of that, sure, but I want kind of eventually more of that over on this channel and keep the other channel for the other stuff. Now, is it going to be overlap? Sure, but I occasionally I have to just vent a little bit. I used to do the unleashes, and I still might do some more unleashed. But I think this cesspool is fun because I want to be able to show people these are the problematic people and YouTubers that we've had to deal with. And maybe this might diverge into non-YouTubers, who knows? Problematic people in general. And I want to get you guys' input on it. I really do. Let me know what you think as far as, did I point out that the problematic behavior? Did I point out this person had misinformation? Did I point out this person lied? And I'm not even talking about Ethan. I'm talking about in general. Did I point out that they lied? Did they do something that I find to be morally egregious? Throw me an ethical theory, because I like that. Tell me, is this a violation of ethical theory, this, that, but anyways, guys, I'm going to stop bloviating here. I'm tired. My voice is shot again. Getting hoarse, and I will call it a night.